Hello, folks. Welcome to today's football predictions of BetCrash. Another very beautiful Saturday morning, and once again, we are back with our predictions as usual. Okay, we take a look at football matches happening across the globe, and we make verdicts on each of these matches. Looking at the previous result they had in recent times, using those results, we always come up with the best possible verdict for each of these matches that are going on. That's what we do on a daily basis. Okay, and exactly what we're going to do in a short while. And we saw how we played yesterday. We were quite good on our predictions yesterday. We saw all the games we predicted here yesterday coming out just the way we predicted it. Even with the ones with the big odds, and like I always tell you, we're not afraid of looking at big odds, and we saw that yesterday playing out. Yesterday, just the way we predicted it. All the games we had yesterday were actually 100% successful. Even the ones we have on our VIP, our section came out just the way we predicted it. Absolutely successful. Absolutely on point. So today, we go again today, and hopefully we're going to have a very, very wonderful day just like we had yesterday. All right, remember to join our VIP group. We'll put out games that have that higher probability of coming out correctly. Don't forget to join. You can always find the link in the description of this very video, as well as anywhere you see join channel membership around this very video. All right, that being said, without further ado, we head to the today's football predictions, and we have quite very wonderful games going on today in the Premiership and some other top leagues in the Europe. And we look at the first game for today. It is between Brentford and Chelsea. And we look at recent games for Brentford. We see them having 2 wins and 2 draws, as well as 2 losses in the last 6 games. All right, for the win side Chelsea, who have been in fine form at the moment, winning 5 games out of the last 6 matches and also having 1 draw. And we take a look at how the system fared from home and away basis. You can see the home side Brentford in the last 10 home matches have resulted to 3 wins for Brentford and 3 draws. They also had 4 losses out of the last 10 home matches that they had. All right, the last home game was actually against Aston Villa. We saw them on that very occasion, beating Aston Villa by 1-0 on that very occasion. All right, and the away side, Chelsea on the other hand have done very, very well from away. You could see in the last 10 away matches that they had, saw them winning 7 games in the last 10 away games. They also had a draw, which was, coincidentally against Brentford, and also 2 losses, which happened against Newcastle United and Arsenal. All right, but we saw their last away game. They had Chelsea winning from away against West Ham by 5-1. That tells you how much this side have been scoring in recent time. Chelsea have been scoring lots of goals. We also saw them beating Betis by 4-1 on that very final. And we look at how the two sides fared when they met each other. The last meeting between the two sides was actually in April. We saw them playing at a 0-0 draw. But first, we saw Chelsea beating this very side by 2-1 from Stamford Bridge on that very occasion. And here we are going with the form of Chelsea, which is actually very good at the moment, and we expect to see Chelsea, doing very well against Brentford in this very encounter. So we go with our side to win outrightly. That's our verdict for that very game, okay? And also in the Premier League, the next game we will have is between West Ham United and Tottenham Hotspur. Another very fantastic match. And when you take a look at recent games for these two sides, West Ham won 3 games and lost 3 games in the last 6 matches. All right, for Tottenham Hotspur, we saw them winning 2 matches and winning 2, and also having 2 draws and losing 2 in the last 6 matches. All right, from home and away perspective, you could see that West Ham United, the last 10 home games they had, saw them winning 2 matches and drawing 3. They also lost 5 games in the last 10 home games that they had so far. All right, the last home game was against Chelsea, and we saw them losing that one by 5-1 rather, against Chelsea. And we look at Tottenham Hotspur. We could see Tottenham Hotspur have won 4 matches and 3 draws in the last 10 away games, and also they had 3 losses. Okay, the last away game was against Manchester City, and we saw Tottenham beating this very side convincingly from away by 2-0 on that very occasion. So when you look at how the two teams fared the last time they met, it was a 1-1 draw. But prior to that, we saw Tottenham also winning against West Ham by 4-1 on that very occasion. But here we are definitely all right. Once something to notice also, the fact that the last 5 meetings between the two sides saw both sides scoring. We had go on both sides. The last 5 meetings between the two sides. So here we'll be going with Tottenham Hotspur to rise to the occasion, and I expect that we side to either win or draw. And we're not going to see a lot of goals. So I will win or draw another 4.5. That's our value for that very game, okay? And we head to the next for today. It is in the Spanish Liga where we have Real Sociedad who will be facing Real Madrid. And Sociedad, out of the last 6 matches, winning just 1 and drawing 2, and also losing 3 games in the last 6 matches that they had. For Real Madrid, we could say they've won 6 out of 6 games, and fine from at the moment, and they've not really had a real test in recent times, but they're in good form, judging from the previous matches we've seen them play so far. But from home and away basis, you could see that the home side, Real Sociedad have actually won 3 games and 3 draws, losing 4 matches in the last 10 home matches. For the away side, Real Madrid doing very well as well, winning 6 games in the last 10 away matches, and also losing 4 matches. All right, that those losses also include those ones they had against Atletico Madrid and 2 losses to Barcelona and Arsenal. All right, so on head-to-head basis, it was Real Madrid who won the last meeting between the two sides, which happened in May, by 2-0. Real Madrid have always won against this very side. The last 6 meetings have always seen Madrid winning against Sociedad, on all time. So we do expect the away side, Real Madrid, to also win outright in this very one. We win. That's what verdict. Okay, the next we have for you today is in German Bundesliga. Where we have Freiburg will be coming up against Stuttgart. All right, for Freiburg, we see 4 wins and 2 losses, as well as the away side. We saw 3 wins and 2 losses, as well as 1 draw. Okay, and from home and away basis, you could see that the home side, Freiburg, have actually won 5 matches in the last 10 home games. Rather, they've actually won 4 matches and 2 draws, and they've had 4 losses as well in the last 10 home matches. Okay, for which side Stuttgart, we saw them winning 5 games and drawing 3, and also losing 2 matches. All right, for the home side, we could see that the last 10 home matches that they had produced over 2.5 on several occasions. 9 times out of 10 they had over 2.5 from the last 10 home matches that they had. That also is a side that always scores, as well as concede lots of goals as well. And when you look at the away side, also Stuttgart, even though the last away game they had was a 1-0 draw, but we saw them also having lots of goals in the last 10 away matches. We saw them having over 2.5 7 times out of the last 10 away games that they had. So we combine all these factors with the fact that we saw Stuttgart beating this very side 4-0 the last time they met, and the last 5 meetings between the two sides also produced over 2.5. Hence the reason we are going with that over 2.5 in this very encounter. A minimum of 3 goals to occur in this very encounter. That's what verdict. Okay. All right. And the next which upon the bid, the last for today, is also in the German Bundesliga. We'll have Heidenheim and Borussia Dortmund. All right, we saw Heidenheim winning 4 out of the last 6 and losing 2. Borussia Dortmund also won 4 and lost 1, as well as 1 draw. And you look at how they fared. You can see that the same games for the home side. The last 10 home games, I've seen it winning just once and drawing 2, but they've also lost 7 matches out of the last 10 home games that they have so far. But Borussia Dortmund, on the other hand, have actually won a lot more games. They have actually won 6 games and 2 draws, losing 2 matches in the last 10 away games that they had so far. So we expect to see a lot of results for their away side in this very one. And noting that last time they met, it was Borussia Dortmund who won from away, and we expect to see our away side actually winning here. So we win. That's our verdict, and that will conclude it for us today on Betcraft. Remember, the other games that we have will be on our VIP special group. We'll put out those games that believe to have that higher probability of coming out correctly. All right, do endeavor to join. You can always find the link in the description of this very video, as well as anywhere you see join channel membership around this very video. All right, that being said, tomorrow is another day. We'll be back with our predictions. Remember to play responsibly, play with what you can afford to lose. All right, until tomorrow, keep winning.